I used to believe love was a transaction of endurance, a long, exhausting marathon, a finish line that kept moving every time I got close. In my mind, love was something you had to earn, like a wage, or prove, like a theory. I grew up believing that if a relationship didn't leave you breathless and bruised, it wasn't passionate enough. I spent years building an altar to the wrong gods. I believed staying late, even when I was unwanted, was loyalty. I believed forgiving the unforgivable was strength. I spent so much time shrinking myself, the parts that were too loud, too emotional, too much, trying to fit into the narrow hallways of someone else's expectations. I became a master of the over. I overgave until I was empty. I overexplained until I lost my voice. I overstayed until I lost my dignity. I thought if it hurt, it meant it was real. If it exhausted me, it meant I was finally trying hard enough. I didn't realize I wasn't building a home. I was building a cage. That was the only blueprint I had. Until I met you. Most people think life-changing love arrives like a thunderstorm. Violent, loud, impossible to ignore. But you didn't arrive with a crash. There were no cinematic sparks, no swelling violins, no moment demanding to be remembered forever. You arrived quietly. You were the calm after 20 years of static. In the beginning, I was waiting for the catch, waiting for the moment you would start demanding things from me, waiting for the moment you would get bored of my stories. But you didn't rush to possess my time. You didn't treat my affection like a trophy to collect or a debt to be repaid. You simply noticed me. You noticed the way my shoulders tensed when I thought I was being annoying. You noticed the way I apologized for things that weren't my fault. And instead of using those vulnerabilities, you held them like fragile glass. There was one Tuesday evening. Nothing special was happening. We were just sitting there. Streetlight filtering softly through the blinds. I apologized for being too tired to be good company. I started explaining myself, trying to justify my exhaustion, trying to make sure you wouldn't leave. You stopped me. You didn't even look up from your book. You reached out, took my hand, and said, "You don't have to explain your existence to me." Those words broke something open inside me. A dam I didn't know was there finally gave way. I realized I had been defending my right to take up space my entire life. And for the first time, I didn't have to anymore. With you, love didn't feel like a chore. It felt like breathing, natural, rhythmic, unforced. I began unlearning, slowly, painfully, beautifully. You taught me that silence isn't distance, it's comfort. Before you, silence terrified me. I thought it meant boredom, and boredom meant abandonment. But with you, we could sit for hours. Separate worlds, one connection. I learned that consistency is more romantic than intensity. The world worships intensity, the chaos, the highs and lows, the drama mistaken for depth. But you gave me consistency. You showed up when you said you would. You were the same person on a rainy Monday afternoon as you were on a Friday night. I learned that safety is not boring. It is magnetic. Chaos used to feel like chemistry. Those butterflies weren't love. They were anxiety, my nervous system begging for relief. You taught me the difference between fire and warmth. You didn't punish me for having needs. You didn't pull away when I was emotional. You didn't make me feel like I was too much to handle. You listened, not to fix me, not to win, just to understand the landscape of my soul. And here is the part people don't expect. You didn't stay forever. Our paths diverged, like two rivers sharing the same bed for a while, before flowing toward different oceans. For a long time, I thought that meant we failed. That because we didn't end up together, the love wasn't real. I was wrong. Some people enter your life not to remain, but to rewire it. You were the catalyst for my evolution. We didn't end because of betrayal. We didn't end because love disappeared. We ended because the work was finished. You showed me what was possible. You gave me a new standard. You showed me a version of myself that didn't need to apologize for existing. And once I saw that version, I could never go back to accepting crumbs. I don't miss you with regret. I miss you with gratitude. I don't wish for us back. I don't rewrite our ending, because the ending was as honest as the beginning. Today, I carry you forward. In the boundaries I keep, in the gentle way I speak to myself when I make a mistake, in the way I no longer confuse pain with passion. You rewired my heart. You made it impossible to accept anything less than mutual respect and effortless honesty. You taught me that peace is rare, sacred, and that I am worthy of it. I used to love with a clenched fist, holding so tightly I hurt myself. Now, I love with an open palm. I've stopped chasing distance. I've stopped calling avoidance a mystery. I've stopped trying to earn what should be given freely. You were the person who changed how I love, not by staying forever, but by showing me what love should feel like before it ever asks me to sacrifice who I am. And because of you, I will never love the wrong way again. I have finally learned how to rest in love, rather than survive it.